Hi, my name is Colette Paul, and the last video I probably made was about writing. I've been so disappointed by author writing, promoting, and how that journey, it didn't go the way that I expected. I came out of that disgusted and broken and tired. What I would like to talk about today is my spiritual journey. And that's what my next videos will be about. Coming along with me and watching me transition in my spiritual journey. I've been going through some things that I have never gone through before, physical challenges, but I was told all physical things start spiritually, metaphysically. You know, what's in the mind, it happens physically, and then that becomes a disease. So I was talking to this man that I just not too long ago met on the telephone. I have a lot of, I guess, spiritual friends, and some are good and some are not so good. And I'm learning, still learning. And I had to come home early today because of my physical challenge with my work. And he said something to me. I said, I was told, the prophets and prophetesses and readers, seers. I'm a dreamer. I've always been a dreamer, even as a child. And I've come to realize, well, a lot of my dreams, they come true. And that's, from my understanding, are premonition dreams. When I have those dreams, of people, I go and I tell them. Most times, they come back to me and they say, yeah, this is what's been happening. Or sometimes they may not say anything at all until months later. Sometimes they say, that you head on is exactly what's going on. And I don't know why I have these dreams, but I've been told they're visions. So, I feel so like I don't know the symbols. And how do you know the symbols when you have these dreams? Because the dreams aren't like telling you, okay, this is what this means and this is what that means. I've looked into dream books and for universal symbols, and I've gone through all of that. So I feel like a baby. So anyway, this man said to me, after me kind of explaining to him about being the dreamer and these things that have been told to me by spiritual people, including people in church. And that's a whole nother story that I'm learning, things I'm learning about church and what type of energy that a lot of people in church have, where they're coming from, or just what's there. And as I grow, we'll talk about more of these subjects later. So he says, yeah, you do. You have these gifts. And we were talking about something earlier, and he was like I said, you may have these gifts, but one thing you don't know how to do, or you're not doing. No, he said, one thing you don't know how to do, he said, is fight. And it didn't resonate with me at the time. But I woke up and was like, wait a minute. I don't know how to fight. I'm like, yes, I do. I know how to fight. But I haven't been fighting. He was telling me some stories about how he would meet people, or like this lady, he knew that she was possessed, but she can also read in the spiritual world. He was like, a lot of people who might be bipolar or schizophrenic, they also have spiritual gifts. And how this lady was talking to him, he was married at the time, and his wife, and he knew that it was a spirit. So he began to talk to that spirit. You know, I stopped praying. Before I guess I knew about The Secret, my back was always against the wall. Always. You know, single mother, raising a son. And I remember someone saying on the Oprah show, or something I read, this lady would say her back was against the wall. And I don't know if she had a pair of Oprah shoes or something, but she would always stand in Oprah's shoes. I guess to kind of help her during those times. I guess it was like visualization. And I didn't know that I was actually doing The Secret before I knew about it, because I began to visualize. I began to dream. I began to, I was kind of like in this bubble of, I would travel to different countries, and I would think of different things that I wanted to do. And some of those things were beginning to happen. Now, as far as my job was concerned, I remember applying for different jobs, or one particular job, over and over and over. And at the time, it was very political. You know, this is, I guess, learning a little about corporate America and not knowing. Very political. You know, they hired who they wanted to hire. And I wasn't getting hired for this particular position that I wanted. And I remember praying and saying, okay, God, if this is what you want for me, open the doors for me. And if it isn't what you want for me, close them. But I still continued to apply when the position was available. And then one day, it was like, I heard something, or I began to think about it. And I was like, I have talents. You know, at the time, my mother, I think at the time she was retired, because I had older parents. But she was a retired hairstylist. And I wanted to go back to school. I guess it was kind of in my blood, or something that I saw all the time, just to see if that was it. I knew how to draw. I knew art. I knew, I wrote some poetry back in college. Just different creative things I knew how to do. So I began to revisit those things. And so years later, because what I think would do in the evenings, I would do artistic things, and I would still go to work. But I guess it's coming back to the present right now. All those things I did, getting into The Secret, I guess, pretty much. Learning about, I guess, New Ageism. Like, if you can think it, I guess it'll come. If you can, be positive. Be positive. It can come. Things will come. I guess things like that, if I'm making sense. But here today, I feel, as they say, busted and disgusted. And when that man said to me, "You don't know how to fight," I remember I say, well, maybe what he's talking about, our grandmothers, they prayed for us. And that's why most of us, as far as black people or African Americans, I don't know about every other culture, but that's why we're thriving today. But I think we're probably worse off than we were when they had less. And I thought of my mother. My mother, she prayed. One thing she did, she prayed and she had faith. And things moved for her. And I haven't been praying. So I took out a couple of prayer books I purchased some months ago. And I remember I was a prayer warrior. I remember being a young lady just praying for other people. I remember a lady who couldn't even have children. She had given up hope. And I was I was working at the airport and I was ill and I went to the restroom and did what I had to do. And she just thought it was the cutest thing. And I'm like, it's horrible. Like, I'm sick. And she told me her story. And I said, I'll pray for you. And I prayed for that young lady. And do you know, one day at my job, I worked for National Car Rental at the time. She worked for Avis. But she came to the counter and she was so excited. And she said, I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. She was like, your prayers, they helped me. And there are other instances where I prayed and things moved. And I said, well, if it's moving for everybody else and everybody else are getting better positions, let me pray for myself so I can get a better position. So what I thought at the time. And nothing happened for me. So I got bitter, frustrated. And just as of late, after promoting my poetry book, after being so tired from working full time and promoting, just burning a candle at both ends, I'm in a, as they say, dark place. I don't know if dark is always wrong. Because from my understanding, when I had a dream of my mother making her transition, it was blackness coming swiftly to get her. I didn't know it was that vision at the time. We were connected spiritually, but the blackness that swiftly came to get her was actually the highest place that you can go. The blackness. Whiteness is not the highest place. It might be next to the highest. So everything is turned around. The Bible is turned around. The Bible is nothing but African proverbs that was stolen and changed. And we're just, man, when I think of, I haven't been really reading the Bible, but I used to, and I just think about the wilderness and how we are in the wilderness. Most of us as a people of color, we are in the wilderness. And I am gonna, because this is a part of my spiritual journey, but I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna light candles. I'm gonna talk to my ancestors more. I'm going to do all of those things. Do I know how to fight in a spiritual world? You just watch me. My mother, that's all I know. She taught me to be mild. Well, maybe not mild, but to always be a lady. Be a lady. And that's me. I'm a lady. Yes, thank you, please. But those are just, I don't know what they are. But, we all are spiritual beings in this human experience, in this body, in this suit. And being polite is not the best thing all the time, because You're not dealing with people. You're dealing with spirits, and all spirits are not good. Some are not. We're in a world of duality, a world of evil, or maybe not evil, but of maybe evil and good, what we would call evil and good, because from my understanding, there's no evil, there is no good. That's just how you look at situations, and things and entities are here to teach you lessons. So, knowing these things, I'll have all the tools I need. All the tools. Spiritual tools around me. But I remember someone saying, you need to go inside. I am going inside. You need to go within. Go within. But I have gone within. I prayed. I've healed myself. I've asked for forgiveness for anyone I may have wronged. I haven't wronged too many people that I know of. But there's some people who were in my life, that close family, that were not the best to me. And I was ill about that, upset about that. But I asked for their forgiveness because it came to me in my mind. Maybe you should ask for forgiveness. Maybe you'll get out of this rut, out of being stuck. I did, but I'm still in this rut. But you know, it's this one area in my life that's a rut, where I feel like I'm in a rut and I'm stuck, because I'm a creative soul. And I've just gotten too tired to create. But every other area in my life, I'm blessed. But it's just that one area that makes me feel drained. You know. And I remember going to work one day, and I saw this. It was like the way the elevator is made. It's kind of like a reflection, a mirror. I guess I don't know what it's called, the steel, whatever it is. And I looked, and it was like it was me, but it wasn't me. It was like this person was sucked dry, like lifeless. You know, my hair, because I cut off my locks, and it was me. But I was like, I looked, and I said, and this is me going to work. It wasn't a dream, or, And I said, that's not me. And there were some men on the elevator, and they were of another nationality, men from India. And it was kind of that complexion. I thought it was one of the men, but I'm like, no, I'm taller. That's me. So I just glanced at the image again. It looks like kind of a mirror on the elevator, but it's not. It's just some fancy elevator. And I saw this person again who was me, but was not me, and was like something has, maybe the spirit or just spiritually, whatever, was like sucked up. I won't say maybe dead. But I was like, my complexion is not like that. I look, full of life. Maybe that was spirit showing me, you keep going this route, this is what you're going to be. So all these things around me that are happening, and it's time to fight. Something told me to make this video. I came to my ancestral altar and just cried and prayed and thought of my grandmother, who I had just I stopped thinking about, because when my mother was alive and my father was alive, it was somebody who was there for me, who helped me through, who were telling me these things that I didn't even know. It was her. I bawled. I cried. And that's when I heard something say, make this video. This is your, I think they say vlog, your spiritual vlog. Day one. If you can resonate with this video, if you understand or understand what I'm saying, if you have any advice that you can give, anything you want to say, or you want to tell your experiences, please like, comment, and share. Ashe.